Hi, this is Tim with Appliance. Today we're looking at a Frigidaire Affinity Dryer. The problem with this dryer is it's experiencing an E61 and an E64 error. So we're going to walk you through how to diagnose E61, E63, and E64. Basically, what's going on is there's some problem in the heating circuit, and it's probably going to involve, number one, the heating element, or number two, the control board. And so, starting with E61, you're looking at heater relay failure typically. What it is there's little black boxes in here that act as relays for the three different heating elements and coils that are inside this heating element. The way you test this, what it's looking for is if they're shorted or if they're open. The easiest thing you can do is take the top off, which is back here. It's going to be two Phillips head screws, the thicker kind. It's not a number 2, it's more like a box style. And you want to look for the gray and the white and the red wires. Right here and right here are the wires that run to the heating element that's underneath your drum. And what you want to do is make sure this is unplugged. And we want to take these two off. And what we're doing is making sure that the relays on the control board are not closed. A lot of editing here. So starting from one end to the other, you want to set your multimeter to ohms or continuity and start at the J5 and test the first two. That should be open. It is. Move to the J53, J71. That is also open. And then test the last two, and that is open. So currently we think everything's okay with the board. What you'd find is if it's shorted, it's always sending power. Sometimes they'll break while they're operating under load, but generally if they're open like this, you're probably safe. So you can go ahead and put this back together. That's an E61. If you find that they're shorted, you need to replace the board. The relays have broken. Alright, next we're testing E63 and E64. Basically it's going to be most likely something at the heating element. Remember, there can always be loose wires, so you want to check around for the wires on that circuit. But what you can see is the three relays that we checked at the board correspond to these three coils. So all we want to do is check for resistance. I can't remember exactly what it is. It'll be in the 20s for ohms. So you want to set to ohms and look across each one of these coils. Around 26. 26 and 26. If any of those are open, that's going to be throwing up that code. The E63, E64, possibly even the E61. Also, you want to check for any grounding against the frame. Right here, you'd look for anything with a 0 here and here. We're looking to see if any wires are touching the frame itself. Everything looks good there. And then lastly, you may have intermittent problems where your dryer heats for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then shuts off. Assume it's going to be here at the heating element, because what's happening is the heating coils are getting hot, they may be bending, warping, they become detached, and then when it cools off, they come back together. They could be broken and moving around. Anyway, that is how that works. We're going to go ahead and take it apart and check the heating element. We know the computer's okay. So this is the new heating element, but we'll check the old one and see what's going on. Alright, again on the Frigidaire Affinity, you probably can't see this, you need that fat style Phillips head. The reason why is you can also use a number 2 Phillips, but you're going to be either stripping the screws out or you're going to have to bang on them with a hammer if they've gotten too tough. Anyway, it's just not worth the time. So you need a better head on your screwdriver. Alright, now we got into the guts. We're looking at the same heating element, except this is the old one. Normally, you'd want to take each terminal off, or you can take this black one off. You want to break the circuit so you can test for continuity. And then what we're looking for is across this black line and these grays, if we have around 26 or so. On that one we have 27, good. That one's open, and that one's open. Remember, this is unplugged continuity test using ohms. So again, there's your issue. Most likely one of these is, no, none of them are touching the housing, but 2 are burned out. So we're going to go ahead and get the heating element replaced, and that is how you look for E61, E63, and E64 errors. We're going to go ahead and put it back the way we found it. If you you can also look on other videos online to see how to put them back together. We just wanted to make sure you could diagnose it. Thanks again. This is Tim with Bird Appliance.